All right. What's up, everybody? All my people in Manhattan, the BX, Queens, Staten Island, my homeboro, Brooklyn. Back in another video, and this is going to be on, obviously, this quote right here from Mr. Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent. It says here, homie, you hustling backwards if you chasing a bitch. Stupid. Chase the paper. They come with the shit. Now, those are bars from a song he did called Rider Music, which was on his classic album, in my opinion, The Massacre. Okay, and this is true. This is a very truthful, honest to God statement, man. You know, and I wanted to do the video because what LeVar Ball stated a couple of days ago about how his sons, well, I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he basically said his sons should focus on basketball and not the NBA. Or excuse me, focus on basketball and the NBA and not women. Okay, not their girlfriends. Okay, and I completely agree with what LeVar said, but you know, hey, LaMelo, do you, bro. LaMelo, Lonzo, obviously LiAngelo, he's not in the NBA, but you know, whatever you want to do with your life, bro, do you, man. You know, Jello, Mello, and Lonzo. Your dad, your pop's just looking out for you, and he's true. And that was true. Like I said, that was a truthful statement. What he said, man. The women are always going to be there. Okay, whatever you want to do with your life, whether you want to be a content creator, a fashion designer, you want to be a mechanic, electrician, you want to go in construction, you know, flip houses for a living, you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a firefighter, a police officer, a chef, open restaurants, you want to, you know, be an entertainer, even though the quote-unquote black community doesn't need no more entertainers. Whatever you're talented at and you love to do, go ahead and do it, you know. But, okay, don't worry about, you know, bless me, had to sneeze, but yeah, whatever you're talented in, go pursue that, man. Focus on that and don't worry about, you know, anybody else, man. Your homies, if your homies ain't focused on nothing, they ain't focused on nothing, they just want to ride along with you because they know where you going. Ride along with you, know you're going. They don't want to do nothing for themselves. Cut them off, man. Okay? I mean, look at Michael Vick. Michael Vick, you know, was probably one of the most popular players in the NFL during his time. Okay? On the cover of Madden, you know, he's run to all the electric highlights and plays and everything for the Atlanta Falcons. He's in Atlanta during the Crunk era, the height of the Crunk era, you know. He was on top. You could say he was on top, even though they won't win in Super Bowls. You could say he was on top in terms of popularity. And then because his homies in Newport, down there in Newport News, Virginia, he let his quote unquote homies, you know, use his property for the dogfighting shit, and well, he got in trouble for it. Michael, and of course his younger brother Marcus Vick was caught up in that shit as well. But Michael was the one that ended up doing a year and a half in jail, not his homies. Okay, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. If you got homies like that, just cut them off, man. I know it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be tough, but you know, if they gonna drag you down or if they ain't doing it for themselves, cut them off. Okay, same thing goes for women. If you're a woman, you have a girlfriend in high school, whatever, and you want to be a basketball player, you want to be a whatever, and she's getting in the way of that, cut her off. If she doesn't understand that that's your number one, cut her off. Okay, I believe it was Louis Armstrong, who's a legendary musician. I believe he used to tell his women that his trumpet was his wife. Okay, if you understand that, you gotta go, which I completely understand. You gotta put your passion, your talent, your career over honestly anything, any and everything. You know, look at Tom Brady. Look at Peyton Manning, Giselle, and I forget Peyton's wife's name, but they understand that football comes first. So they understand that, they don't get in the way. Okay, they may not like it, but they understand that. Okay, so that's what LeVar, I think, is trying to teach his sons, and that's why I got inspired to do this video. I'm using this quote. Okay, this is an old ass quote. You know, you're always gonna lose money chasing women, but you'll never lose women chasing money. Okay, you know, get to the mountaintop before you decide to bring someone along with you, women and whatnot. Okay, now this is Tiger Woods in 1997 when he won the Masters. I was seeing him in his green jacket, looking all young and everything. They say behind every great man is a great woman. The truth is, behind the fall of every great man is a great woman. Tiger Woods being probably one of the most main examples of that. Okay, how he was in 1997. Here he is 20 plus years later. DUI arrest, looking drunk and crazy and shit. Of course, now Tiger's gotten better in the aftermath of this, but you know, this is where he ended up. You know, he couldn't, you know, he wasn't a one woman person. He got exposed for that, and everything went downhill from there. Tiger Woods hasn't been the same since. Tiger Woods, another dude. He was one of the most popular. Tiger Woods is probably the most popular athlete in the world. You know, at that time, late '90s, early 2000s. You know, era of him, in the era of Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. AI, Vince Carter. You know, Michael Vick, Ray Lewis. You know, Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez. Tiger Woods was probably the most popular athlete of them all. Man, he fell because of a woman, or because he wasn't a one woman person. And look, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm making have more than one woman, but you should be upfront and honest about that, bro. Don't hide it, because you're gonna look bad. You're gonna look bad when you get exposed. But now this is Ray Rice. Ray Rice, of course, at one time was the star running back for the Baltimore Ravens. You know, he got drafted there in '08. The same year Joe Flacco got there and John Harbaugh got there. They made the playoffs that year. Lost to the Steelers in the championship game. 2009 made the playoffs. 2010 made the playoffs. 2011 made the playoffs. 2012, Ray Lewis's last season, of course, they went on to win the Super Bowl. Here they are in New Orleans. When the lights went out, stopped the game for like 20 minutes. But anyway, here he is with his Super Bowl championship T-shirt, his hat, sitting there in confetti, on top of the world. And here he is, 5+ years later, sitting at home looking sorry as hell. Why is that? Because he couldn't control his temper with this woman right here, Janae Rice. Now, look, if you are with the woman and she gets you that upset, or thoughts like that come to your head, like, oh, I want to hit this bitch so bad, I want to punch her, blah, blah, blah. So they just cut her off, man. Get rid of her. Okay? Ray Rice. Okay, Ray Rice. I'm not saying Ray Rice was going to the Hall of Fame where he was like Barry Sanders or LaDainian Tomlinson or anybody like that, but he was a very good running back. He made the Pro Bowl, I believe, twice, 3 times. He was a starting running back on a Super Bowl winning team. Okay, he was a very good running back, but now he's at home, and now I think he's coaching high school football somewhere. Okay, now here's Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby is a very funny fellow, right? This is one of Bill's comedy albums that came out in the 1960s. Cosby is a legendary comedian. He's up there, with whether people want to admit it or not. He's up there with the Richard Pryors and the George Carlins and the Lenny Bruces, Red Fox, whomever. He influenced some of your favorite comedians, Chris Rock being one of the main examples. Here's Bill Cosby in the 80s. He was America's dad in the Cosby Show. Cliff Huxtable. The Huxtables, they were America's favorite family. Bill's America's dad and everything. Now here's Bill 30+ years later. Okay, because he was, drugging women. He couldn't help himself. He saw a beautiful woman. He had to put some drugs and pudding pops and then have his way with the bitch. I know that wasn't a good Bill Cosby impression, but hey, I've never watched that show. My dad did. My pops loved that show. He still does, but I never watched that shit. But here he is, 80+ years old, blind, in jail, waiting for death. Okay, now here's Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt, once upon a time was the star running back for the Chiefs, potential superstar running back for the Kansas City Chiefs. He was there in 2017, I believe, 2018, one of them years. Patrick Mahomes was young. Kareem was, the star, the big man on campus. I remember watching Skip and Shannon Undisputed, and they had Eric Dickerson on as a guest, and they were discussing whether Kareem Hunt is going to be in the Hall of Fame, or does he has a Hall of Fame potential. And of course, that was after 5 games, but still, Eric Dickerson is of course a legendary running back. He said Kareem does have Hall of Fame potential. He just needs to get more years in. And here's Kareem Hunt a couple months later on ESPN apologizing for, kicking that white bitch. Okay, it's not funny, but hey man, like I said, if a woman get to that point, just cut her off. Apologizing. I forget who's getting interviewed by, but it was clearly by a woman. But now he's in Cleveland. He's with the Cleveland Browns, and I don't know, he hasn't been the same since. So like Curtis Jackson said, homie, you hustling back to you chasing a bitch, stupid, chase the paper, they come with the shit. Get to the mountaintop, then get you a woman, man. And look, do you. But if you had to ask me, And if you look at these all these gentlemen right here, Tiger Woods, Bill Cosby, Ray Rice, Kareem Hunt, and there's probably Harvey Weinstein, Matt Lauer, all these dudes, man. All these dudes were on top, or they had lots of money. Life was good for them, but because they couldn't control themselves, they couldn't control the bottom heads. They all in jail or out of work or not relevant anymore, man. And it's sad, but yeah, don't don't. But they say behind every great man is a great woman. Behind the fall of every great man is a great woman. All right. If you like the video, click the like button, subscribe, help a young brother grow on YouTube. Comment down below, and I'm gonna see y'all.